Hey everybody, it's Charles from HumbleMechanic.com, and today I'm going to show you how to remove the fuel pump on a Volkswagen. Some of the tools that you may need for this job are going to be a flat blade screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver, a pair of cutters, and possibly a pair of pliers. Now, there are actually a few special tools that Volkswagen recommends for this job, but I'm going to show you guys a really great couple of workarounds so you don't need to bring any of that stuff. And one thing I forgot to mention, don't forget your safety glasses. All right, so here is where the fuel pump is located on this Passat. This is actually in the luggage compartment, and there's sometimes a cover over all of this, but we lucked out that this one doesn't actually have it. We're going to start off by removing these 3 Phillips head screws. 2, and finally, the 3rd one. This is simply a cover just to reduce noise from the fuel pump. Set that to the side. The cool thing about Volkswagen fuel pumps is a lot of them are labeled with the in and the out. So this is fuel out, and this is going to be fuel in. And that's important to remember when you're going back together with it. We're going to go ahead and take our connector off. And I like to pull the rubber piece off here and really get this completely out of the way. All right, now before we undo those fuel lines, time to safety up and get our glasses on. Next, we're going to go ahead and take the lines off simply by cutting the clamps. Then I like to take a screwdriver and just push the clamp off. You want to really be careful here. Remember, these are plastic, so you don't want to jam down too hard on them. So if you're having trouble getting these fuel lines broken free from this fuel pump, remember this is plastic, we don't want to break it. Grabbing a pair of pliers, giving it a light squeeze, and simply twisting can really help loosen this up. And you'll see now where before I could barely move it back and forth, I'm able to move it very easily. Take our flat blade screwdriver and just work that line off. Now remember I said that this is plastic, this piece is metal, but this piece is plastic, and that little spurt of fuel is why you always want to make sure you're wearing safety glasses when working in a fuel system, or on a fuel system, or even near a fuel system. All right, now that we got our lines off, really want to tuck those out of the way. This is held on by a plastic collar on the tank. Volkswagen has a very special tool that sits on here. It's like a claw that sits on this piece, but that is really a dealer-only tool, and we don't have it here, so we're going to improvise by just tapping this plastic ring off counterclockwise with a flat blade screwdriver and a hammer if you have it, or simply the palm of your hand. Now you don't want to hit down, straight down like this. You want to hit it just like you are if you're loosening it. So you want to hit it more around rather than straight down. You can see it'll get pretty easy to loosen. Get our lines back out of the way. You should be able to get this by hand. All right, ring is out of the way. Here's our pump. This pump is 2 pieces. It's this piece that's at the top of the tank, and then there's another piece mounted actually to the bottom of the tank. So we're going to pull this portion up, get our seal out of the way here. And we're going to have to undo a couple of things before we pull this fuel pump out of the car. We're going to have to disconnect this connector. This is for the level sender. The cool thing is these connectors are pinned differently. These are parallel, and the ones on this connector are perpendicular, so you can't cross the pump and the fuel level sender. We're also going to need to take this vent line off, which what you do is you squeeze the 2 tabs and give it a pull, and it'll come right off. You can actually disconnect this connector too if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on. Tuck that stuff out of the way. Now we have to get the lower portion of the fuel pump out. This can be a little bit tricky. Believe it or not, there's a special tool to remove that as well. But a lot of times we can do that by hand by simply just turning it counterclockwise. So I'm gonna reach my hand down, give it a turn, and it only turns maybe 10 degrees, and you'll be able to wiggle the fuel pump right out of the tank. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. If you have any questions or comments, throw it down in the comments section below. Hey, if you like the video, throw it a thumbs up on YouTube. I always appreciate that. You can also subscribe on YouTube or on the blog at humblemechanic.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the blog, obviously right here on YouTube. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.